My topic was on how human activities affect pollution in the ocean and how marine organisms are eventually affected. I have known about this issue for a while. I have studied it in some of my previous classes that I've taken in high school and now in college. So I realized that this is a major issue and it needs to be talked about and prevented from happening more. I know that pollution can come from many different sources, and most of them are caused by humans. For example, gas and factory emissions, garbage disposal or inappropriately dumping of garbage, and farm and factory runoffs. Both emissions and runoffs put harmful chemicals into the open ocean environment, along with plastic from disposing of garbage inappropriately. This can create an extremely dangerous and toxic environment for the marine life. This marine life is choking on the plastic and getting toxic chemicals in their body systems. Along with their environment being destroyed with the toxic chemicals, the marine life is struggling to find a place to live, and all these factors together are killing off the life that the ecosystem needs to thrive. When going into my research, I found the types of chemicals that are emitted through gas and factory emissions, which are CO2 and mercury. When these chemicals enter the ocean environment through rainfall after being up in the atmosphere, when it rains, they get transferred from the rain down into the ocean, and the CO2 reacts with the ocean salt water and makes carbonic acid. This causes the ocean to become more acidic, and eventually the acidity will break down and dissolve the shells of marine organisms like crabs, clams, and shellfish. This type of chemical compound can also break down coral reefs, which are homes to many kinds of fish and other marine life, along with the shells that the crabs and the clams, those are their homes too. So this leaves marine organisms trouble finding homes, and this leaves them like hard. This makes it hard for them to survive. With factory runoffs, this allows oil, lead, and arsenic to enter the ocean environment, along with the farm runoffs allowing herbicides and pesticides to enter the ocean as well. So all of these chemicals and metals combined create a very harmful environment for the marine life to live in. The toxic metals and chemicals can inhibit the growth and reproduction of many other marine organisms. Years and years ago, the fish that fishers used to catch used to be huge and very top catches, and now all the fish are very small and tiny, and I have seen that through research and pictures over time. So along with leaving traces of those chemicals in their body systems, they will eventually just die off or get eaten by predators, and then the predators will eventually have the toxic chemicals in their systems. With garbage disposal, obviously the main concern is plastic. There's tons and tons of plastic caused by humans getting into the ocean environment, and there's obviously no possible way of getting rid of all this plastic, which is very disappointing, and the plastic is causing suffocation to the animals and ingestion, and this will potentially kill the marine life once interacted with. After finding and analyzing all the research that I've done, I found that there were three main perspectives. One was one that I already figured would be out there, which was with researchers and scientists that argue negative consequences, how the issue became big, and mostly just trying to make people known about marine pollution. The other perspective is quite similar but not as strong. They give all the details that are needed, which is what caused the pollution, how the pollution affects the ocean, and different ways to help. I thought that this was the best perspective that could be out there because it gives humans ways to prevent more pollution from entering the environment and kind of rounds off the issue as a whole and gives all the information needed. Then lastly came the smallest perspective that I found, which is like people not really caring about the issue or not really fully understanding what's happening. With all this information, I now understand how important this topic needs to be discussed and how we as humans need to be finding more solution for the pollution entering the fragile ecosystem. When doing this research, I have seen pictures of before and after, and actually in person I have seen the damage that these chemicals have done on like coral reefs, and it's insane to me that this is occurring right now and how much it has changed over the years and how much like we are to blame for this. The earth relies on different types of ecosystems to function properly, and with the amount of stress and the harm the ocean is going through, the food chain is in danger of falling apart, which leads to other food chains eventually falling apart and can lead to extinction of some of these organisms. Some final questions that I have after doing all this research is how does this eventually affect humans? Because this has to come back on us somehow, so how does it affect us in the long run, or is it affecting us now, but we just don't know about it? How close are we finding solutions to make this issue better? The only solution that I've come across is just planting more trees. The reason for this is the trees take CO2 out of the atmosphere for their own needs, and the roots also can, like if there's enough trees in an area, the roots can direct the runoffs into a different direction than the ocean. So that's like only one of the solutions that I saw. So I really hope there's other solutions out there. If not, but we need to make more solutions for the future to prevent this from happening. Also, another question that I have, can humans change the way of doing things to better the ocean? So can we kind of change our way of lives, like start now and changing the way our lives and how we act to prevent getting these chemicals and toxic metals and plastic from entering the environment? Or how can we change our way of lives for doing that? Things I want to know more about is the human involvement in the ocean. Not directly pollution, but like how else is humans affecting the ocean? Because I know it's not just pollution. I know there's some other things out there, but I just don't know each thing. Another thing I want to know is I want to understand and go more into depth in how the animals are reacting or acting to the level of stress and pollution in their environment, not as a whole, but maybe like individually, how are they reacting? And so overall, obviously pollution is an extremely negative issue in the world and it needs to be solved in some way. I think it comes down to if humans are willing to help. If more people saw it before and after, and like an up close like coral reef or something, or the amount of fish not being out there, and the amount of harm like pollution is doing up close, I think that more people would be willing to help. But until that happens, more and more pollution is just going to keep entering the environment and killing the marine life.